Yes, people, welcome back to the only YAHYAH with the one and only, the true YAHYAH Chino Falachi. And today we're going to be talking about Kylian Mbappe to Real Madrid and him getting dropped by Luis Enrique and him just announcing what he's going to do. But yes, before we jump into that, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the page. Keep hitting the bell for notifications so YAHYAH can keep bringing you great content going forward. So let's jump into this. Today, well, a couple of days ago, we see Kylian Mbappe kind of really announcing his move to Real Madrid. And then we see, like, we see Fabrizio Romano also confirming that with reports saying, and David Austin reporting that he basically is going to Real Madrid. No, unless the paper is signed and unless there's a contract, there's always a possibility for him to go anywhere else. Now, do I think there's a lot of teams that can afford Kylian Mbappe? Not really. I think only a few clubs can actually pay for Kylian Mbappe. Let's see. Man City, Liverpool maybe, and I hardly doubt they can pay him because they can hardly even pay Salah. And then you have Man United, but if Mbappe knows really good for him, he stay away from that club at the moment. That club is in too much of a transition for a man like Mbappe to go there. He might be the man that changed the whole thing as well, right? But I just feel like for a young man, especially what he can, the possibility of what football can see with him going to Real Madrid and what football can see in terms of just watching beautiful football from a young set of young black men playing at the biggest club in Spain where there's so much racial abuse, etc. Like, I feel like with all that, right? And I'm not the guy to play this race card and want to be the guy to do that. But I'm just saying, for how much racial abuse that has happened in Real Madrid, think about what it would mean for a whole team other than possibly the right back and the goalkeeper being black, playing in that competition with people every week, having to see them win. Like, it would be amazing, and I would actually love to see, because it would be real good for the people talking about the culture. But in other words, also, it would be so good for football and a whole in terms of the quality, what we would see. And that's not to say that not because you have a squad of great players mean that you're gonna be great. It also means that you have to be coached well, you have to be placed in the positions to play well. And remember, Kylian Mbappe doesn't like to play up top, but he doesn't mind playing off the left or the right wing. Vinicius likes to play off the left wing, which is Mbappe's preferred position. Rodrigo don't mind playing up top, but he's not that physical enough to play up top, which means that he needs, so they can be interchanging to keep them comfortable and engaged and happy, or they could just have to be understanding that they have to sacrifice. But either way, they are going to be the fastest front three in world football, no doubt. Like, man, they are going to be rapid. Like, it's three of the most rapid players in football on the same team with one of the strongest midfielders in terms of, you have balance, you have physicality, you have endurance, you have technicality with Jude, Chouameni, and Kaminga. So there's so much quality there. Then you have possibly Alfonso Davies going, but you're still hearing him might sign a new contract with Bayern Munich. But if I was him, I would imagine Alfonso Davies and Vinicius or Mbappe on the same wing. The right back and the right winger of any team is too much pace. But we will see, because it's football. A lot of these players being named, they also have poor seasons. And this is why I'm making this video as well, to show that even as a youngster, as a star with Kylian Mbappe, he's also struggling at the moment with his motivation now to play for PSG. Now, let me put something out there. I remember when the media was on Luis Enrique back for dropping Kylian Mbappe. We remember that? Let's not forget when Kylian Mbappe was dropped because of him not being motivated at the starting of the season when these rumors were going on. Remember, there were rumors going on with him going to Real Madrid, this same team. And all this happened. And Kylian Mbappe and Luis Enrique had him training with the under 23s. Then they had all lawyers involved and player arbitration involved and all this thing involved, right? Yes, okay, fine. They got him back into the team. Then, a couple months after, for him to announce that he's going to that same team, he was being dropped from the main team of PSG to go to. Now, why are we doubting the manager? And this is just to show you that when people sit down and talk about there's no player bigger than the club, bro, they're delusional. That is Delulu people talking. Players right now, with how marketable they are, you know, like people talk about David Beckham and how marketable he was with the Spice Girl and all these. We watching his documentary. Every player now is probably as marketable. Like, think about it. They were just Boots announcement with 1, 2 players. Now there's Boots announcement with every player that even just sponsored by that boot company. It's not only just the Ronaldo or the Messi. It's so many people now involved in the media and the market. They have such a massive social media following. Like, for people to think that if a player has as much clout as what a club has, or even more, that he's not as powerful as that club, they're not. Money. The players now are even rich. They are rich. Even some of them are rich before they even start playing football. And as soon as they start playing football or they sign these massive contracts, they're rich. They get even richer. They get so many endorsements. You know, like these players are very marketable now, and we have to understand that that's what Kylian Mbappe is. Kylian Mbappe told Real Madrid, hold on, let me stay at PSG, make some more money, then I will announce I'm coming to you when I'm ready. And that's what he did. And they're going to get him for free. They're going to pay him a big contract, which they can afford. And rather worse if they win the Champions League this season. I don't see them not winning it for the next 2, 3, honestly. And much less they get him for free. PSG probably not paying him this amount of millions. But let's not forget, PSG has lost lots of money as well because of Mbappe. Let us not forget that they bought Mbappe. They bought Messi on massive contracts. They brought Neymar on massive contracts just to make sure Mbappe to get the best out of Mbappe. And remember, Kylian was actually those 2 players in Neymar and Messi at that time going to PSG still had enough to help Kylian Mbappe become a better player. And what did he do? He did. Yeah, he performed, but they failed. PSG failed. They couldn't win. They still have 0 Champions Leagues. Like it's crazy. And you don't see the media talk about this club like this because they're winning the French league, which if my grandmother played in that league, she'd probably score hat tricks. You know what I mean? Like, I'm telling you, that league it's easy. Like you see lots of players coming out the French league and they go to the Premier League and you don't really see them heat it up. You see them have to like play at certain low teams first and play a few times in the league to then get abreast with the pace of the Premier League. But yeah, Kylian Mbappe have a serious attitude problem. It's very evident, even with his burst up with Benzema in the French team and other players he have burst up with. And then also, that's not to take away from this young man's talent, but I'm just saying, like, he have attitude issues. It's evident to see. Look at that image I'm showing you right now. He's being subbed at halftime by his manager. Let's not forget, this is not Kylian Mbappe's mother's first game going to watch him play for PSG. He's played in Paris, in France, where he's from. So his mother has watched him a lot of times. He gets subbed at halftime, and what he does, he goes and take a shower and then sits down in the stand. Now, when this was another player, the media was all over it. Issues with the manager, Manuel, this is the same player, Kylian, who that same manager at PSG isn't starting him anymore because in his eyes, we have to look at life after Kylian Mbappe. Okay? So in his eyes, they're saying we have to look at other options than Kylian Mbappe. So he's playing him in a bit part, right? He's also making Kylian not be a part of much of PSG anymore. And now you see Kylian not only not supporting his team at halftime while they are playing, he leaves, has a shower, and goes up in a press box to sit down with his mother and watch the game. For me, as a top professional, it's not a good look. And I feel like he should do better. I feel like he can do better. He shouldn't be doing stuff like that because it's because people don't really read into these things when it don't fit their agendas, why you don't see it be bigger news. But when it's other players at certain clubs, it becomes big news. Let's set a medium where we hold professionals. If y'all want players not to feel like they're bigger than the clubs, then every time each and every one of them make a mistake that seems like they're bigger than the club and what the club stands for, all you pundits and ex-players should actually hold them accountable for that. That's all I have to say. Because then they will realize they're still being held accountable to be good professionals and team players, and most importantly, role models to the youngsters out there. But anyways, enough about Kylian Mbappe. Really happy to see him make that move to Real Madrid. Yes, people, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe again. Keep hitting the bell for notification. Keep commenting. Keep sending me those DMs as you've been doing so we can keep bringing you great content going forward. And always remember, my people, I don't have to tell you because you already know. Have a good day and you know what.